Welcome to AI for Pastors. In this video, we're going to, I hope, make everyone's life a little bit easier. If you're like me, if you're already using AI in ministry and you're already using it pretty much every day for different things, you're probably finding yourself copy and pasting a lot of information. If you're writing something or developing something, you're taking it, you're copying it, you're dropping it into AI, you're doing some work in AI, and then you're taking it back from there and you're dropping it back into this document. There's a lot of back and forth happening with these different AI platforms. And so OpenAI has seemingly solved that through an agentic web browser. So OpenAI has released their competitor to Google Chrome or even Perplexity's Comet or these different web browsers with building AI directly into a web browser. And that allows us to do some really interesting things that we're going to go over in this video that are, I think, going to save everybody a lot of time and make your life a little bit easier. So let's get into this together. So this is Atlas. This is ChatGPT's web browser. And so this will replace Google Chrome or Safari or Microsoft Edge or whatever they're using now. And so the first thing is, if you're like me, I always really don't like switching web browsers because I already got all my bookmarks and all that kind of stuff exactly the way that I want it. It was super easy. I clicked one button and it imported everything from Google Chrome exactly into Atlas, exactly the way that I had it in Chrome. So that was super simple. So good for them on that. This is the homepage, and you're going to notice their homepage looks exactly like ChatGPT. So you can ask questions directly from here, no different than if you were in actual ChatGPT. And so there's that functionality. You can just use it directly in. You have your different models here that you can switch from. We're going to talk about agent mode in just a little bit. That's actually going to let the web browser actually take over for you, which sounds a little scary, but there's some safeguards in place that they've done, which I appreciate. So the first thing that I want to show you, and I want this video to be short because this is one of those things that I would encourage you guys to just get in there and play around with, because I've really, to be honest, I've barely scratched the surface of what this tool can do. And so I'm playing around with this each and every day. And I'm going to show you just two things that I've seen so far that are hugely helpful. And then I would encourage you guys in the comments, let me know how you have found this helpful. What are some use cases that you've found this agent web browser, AI being integrated into the web browser, how you have found that helpful, or what problems you've what problems you found with it. So let me know in the comments how this has helped you, so that way I can continue to educate myself and also then maybe make a video and expound on this and maybe answer some further questions. So the first thing I want to show is, so I use Google Docs for all of my sermon writing and all these different things. So if I just have a sermon, this is a sermon I preached a few weeks ago. And so here's, typically if I'm, let's just say this introduction, I'm like, man, it's just really not flowing very well. Or I have a question, or I put a quote in there that I remembered, but I can't quite remember the source of the quote. Well, what would we do? We would copy this. We would go over to a new tab, and then we would paste it in and say, provide some insights on this verse or this passage or, whatever. And then we'd do some research, and then we'd take it back over to Google Drive, and we'd continue our work here. So there's that back and forth. Well, now there's this Ask ChatGPT button that just pulls up a prompt space directly in this web browser. And so I'm just going to highlight this. Now, keep in mind, I'm not copying it. I can click here and I can say if I wanted to. Now, I'm obviously not going to make changes to this portion of the verse because that would be changing scripture. But if there was if a sentence that I just didn't like the flow of, I could highlight it, hover over that little blue button, and I could just say, change the language, or make it a little softer, or make it sound a little more compelling, or or whatever it is. I can do that directly in here, or with this highlighted, I can go over here and you notice it now says selected text. So it is the actual browser is seeing what I have highlighted here, and so all I'm going to do is let's just say provide insight on this text. I don't know. And I'm not just, I'm just demonstrating what you can do here. There's obviously no limit to the things that you can accomplish with this. But so it's directly now I'm engaging, I'm researching, I'm studying directly from within the same exact tool that I'm using to write my sermon. This is helpful. This is going to save some headache back and forth. And so here's just some good insight that I could continue in my reading. So let's go to, let's say I'm unhappy with my key concept. This is like, I don't know, when I preach, like I like to have like a thesis statement. So let's just say rephrase for greater impact and clarity, or whatever. And so it's going to directly engage with the question that I asked it. And so there's some different options here, and then you can continue to kind of piggyback and work through these and wrestle with these and see if any of them are kind of standing out to you. This is helpful. This is super easy, and this is just one thing. And again, I really want you guys in the comments to let me know how you have implemented this Atlas browser in your normal workflow. This could be for data analytics of, administrative stuff. This right here will be a game changer for our admins. And so as pastors, I would be encouraging you to get your staff on board with this. I know everybody's kind of nervous about job loss to AI, but AI is not going to replace people. AI is going to replace people that refuse to use AI. And so, and that's a controversial statement. I'm sorry. It's just the productivity that people are going to be able to have using tools like this. It's just going to propel them to the top, and people who refuse to adopt new technologies are just not going to be able to effectively compete in job markets. And so we need to be encouraging ethical, and that's important. We have several videos on the channel about the good and bad of AI. And so we need to ethically encourage the use of AI. And there's certainly good and bad ways to use this technology. I want to show you one more thing before we move in. Oh, that's what I think the time just changed. That's why everything went from dark to white. I wasn't sure what just happened. I have my computer settings set to dark and light mode to switch automatically. And I thought maybe something happened, but that's all it was. So I'm going to go up here. This is a template website from the church company. I didn't want to use like a real church just because like I don't, kind of new to the whole YouTube thing. And so I wasn't trying to like dox anyone's information online. So this is a template website that was made by the church company. So I figured that was the safest thing. We're going to ask ChatGPT. We're going to pretend that this is our website. So you're a pastor, this is your website, and you want to get a glimpse into how a new visitor or someone church shopping might view your website. And so I have a prompt here that I've already written that says this: analyze this website from the perspective of someone church shopping. Analyze first appearance, impression. Can they easily get plugged in and learn about our team, beliefs, and upcoming events and opportunities? That would be really good to know how a church or a potential church member might view the first thing that they see about your website. And so then down here, I'm going to unclick this, but you'll see, click add agent mode. And I will let you know, I'm still doing some of the fact finding behind this. I apologize. This video is kind of coming out a little premature. I'm on the ChatGPT Plus, so I'm paying $20 a month for ChatGPT, and I have access to this. I'm not 100% sure if you can access this agent mode in Atlas in the free version. And so I'm going to be doing that test later today, and then maybe I'll put in the comments what we find out. Or if you're on the free version, check this out, try it, and then let me know, help me out. Let me know in the comments if it worked for you or not. And so that we'll kind of think tank this. I will also let you know, I would just encourage all of you guys to make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit the notification bell, because we're going to be putting more information out. And I want you guys to stay as in the know as possible, because again, this stuff's all changing so fast. And so we're constantly putting out new updates and videos of new tools. So I'm going to click agent mode, and then I am going to hit enter. Now, what you're going to see happen is the web browser, see the little dots? The web browser is now, I'm going to show you my hands here. I'm not doing anything. And if you notice, the little cursor in the middle is going to start moving around. It's going to start actually engaging with the website directly. It's clicking things right now on this website. And so, and you're also going to see on the right hand, it's kind of thought process. And so it's currently thinking about how to get plugged in or how to assess the beliefs of this church. So just think for a minute of the use cases of this are really limitless. I'm going to show you just a quick example. And I was fully transparent this, this is going to sound completely off topic, but it's not. I am a part of a fantasy football team. Okay, and I'm just going to show you how disruptive this technology is going to be across the board. My fantasy football league knows that I'm kind of like the AI guy. And so I told them, I was like, listen, you're not going to be competing against me. You're going to be competing against ChatGPT. And so I just use ChatGPT to like make my picks. And sometimes, in fact, I actually lost this last week. So ChatGPT is not perfect, right? But this past Sunday, before the game started, I went into my team and I literally just in the right, I said, make whatever changes necessary for me to maximize my odds of winning. It then went through and started making trades and changes to my team for me. That's wild. And so this technology is going to be used all over the place, not just in ministry, but in every field. And so we need to be prepared for the good and the bad that's going to come from that. And so let's just see what it worked for 52 seconds. It says it looked through the current homepage, assessed it from a church shopping, first appearance, getting plugged in, learning about teams and beliefs, events and opportunities, overall evaluation as a church shopper. Areas of improvement. That's good to know. Let's just skip straight there. Our leadership link is only accessible via the About drop-down. Highlighting the pastor's staff on the homepage could help visitors to put faces to names. That's good. Additionally, adding a plan your visit section with campus directions, what to expect, parking info could make it even easier for first-time guests. And so you can see here the value. I would challenge why would any of us as pastors not today go do this to all of our websites? Right? Well, I mean, what do we have to lose by getting a perspective of a first-time visitor to our website? That's going to be helpful, and I hope it's encouraging, and I hope it's helpful for you guys. And I would just encourage you also, let's turn off agent mode. This is a good next prompt. List 5 things for me to work on to improve this site. And I'm going to keep the typo in there because I think it's going to be okay. Get some next steps. We know the problems. Now let's fix them. Problems, there's no benefit in knowing a problem if we don't have a plan to fix it. And so this will help you in ministry. This will help you in your pastoral, leading a church, and it will make you a better witness to the community that God has placed you in. And so I hope you find this helpful. This is ChatGPT's or OpenAI's Atlas web browser. And so you can get this if you just Google search OpenAI Atlas. I will let you know currently this web browser is only available on Mac. Eventually, they did the same thing with the desktop application. It came out on Mac first and then eventually went to Windows. So if you're on Mac, try this out. Let me know in the comments how it goes for you. If you're on Windows, you're going to have to wait a little bit. Sorry, but it will be coming to you very shortly. If you're on Windows, you can also, there is another version. So not OpenAI, I actually mentioned it earlier in the video. It's a really great tool. People love it. This is where people are going to develop their own opinions and to each their own. Perplexity, which is like the Claude environment. It's a competitor to OpenAI and ChatGPT. They have a browser called Comet that does a lot of this same stuff. It has the integrated AI agent mode where it can take over your screen. That's available on Windows. And so if you really want to play around with this and you don't want to wait for Atlas to come to Windows, check out Comet from Perplexity that uses Claude. And you can start playing around with that now. It's just a little, when you get used to one ecosystem, it's sometimes to jump to another, things are laid down a little different. The wording's a little different. And so I always just encourage, find one that works for you and just stick with it, because the whole game of chasing the newest, latest thing, in my experience, as someone who uses this technology a lot, it ends up just, by the time I learn the new system of this new platform that's leading, the old one has caught up. And so it really becomes a cat and mouse race that I'm just not super, I don't have the time, to be honest. I don't have the energy to invest in always chasing the newest thing. So find a system, whether it's Gemini with Google, whether it's ChatGPT with OpenAI, Claude, and there's a handful of others. Find one that works for you and just use it. Use it until you're comfortable with it. The tools are increasingly, they're getting better literally every single week. And so this is ChatGPT Atlas. Thank you guys. If you found this helpful, please make sure to subscribe to this video, to this channel. We are very close to, this is going to sound silly in the world of YouTube, but we're close to 100 subscribers. I'd love to hit that number. If we hit 100 subscribers, we do have, I'm going to make a little video. I made a cheat sheet of 25 prompts that every pastor should be using. Once we hit 100 subscribers, I'm sure it's probably going to be in the next several days. I'm going to put on a video with a download link, and we're going to give that free resource out to everybody. So make sure you subscribe to this so we can get that resource out as quickly as possible. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and just wrap this up. We'll see you in the next video.